Good evening. So this is not my normal live day, but as I posted earlier yesterday, we made it about family time. And so we just spent literally all day with the kids, and it was actually really, really nice and really, really fun. So to keep myself accountable, I'm gonna go live today, hopefully tomorrow too. But yeah, so today what I want to talk about is, how to go from chaos to calm, how to create daily rituals that will help, keep you grounded, help you from feeling like just discombobulated, like feeling like you have no control over your day or yourself or your emotions. And so, the first question, not really question, but more of a thought, when you think about your days, do they feel rushed? Do they feel chaotic? Does it feel like you're just constantly reacting and like there's no calm in your life? Just remember that you are not alone in this feeling. You're not alone in this crazy busy life. But you need to remember that even in the busiest seasons, you can create small pockets of time that'll help calm you and keep you more centered and grounded and not feel like you're just constantly in a state of chaos. And so today we're going to talk about some points and some things that can kind of help you understand rituals and how to understand, how to create that for yourself. And so one of the things I want to ask you to really get your mind thinking is, in the comments, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that you do most mornings? Like, what does your day consist of? It could be, go downstairs. It could be you journal. It could be you eat breakfast. It could be you take a shower, you brush your teeth, you read the Bible, you read a book, you meditate, stretch, whatever that looks like. What do most of your mornings look like? And so after thinking about, what do your mornings look like? The first thing I want to get into is thinking about, why do rituals matter? And rituals is kind of what helps us stay grounded when we feel like we're in just chaos and life be lifing. Rituals create a sense of predictability, and science has shown that it actually helps our nervous system. And that's like, when you think of like fight or flight, that's, everybody's heard of fight or flight. And so we're always, when life is chaotic, we usually find ourselves in fight or flight. Normally it's fight for a lot of us. We find ourselves. And so when you start and end your day with intention, rituals, sometimes routines, everything in between feels like it's more manageable. Like, it helps you feel like the day isn't getting away from you. It helps you feel like you have more control over what goes on in your day. Now, does that mean you have control over everything that goes on in your day? Of course not. Life be lifing sometimes, and we don't always have control over every aspect of our life. It's an impossibility. But that's sort of why, rituals matter, routines matter. It's because it helps ground us, and it helps us maintain calm. Go downstairs. Helps us maintain calm in the face of life storms and just the chaos of life in general. And so that's sort of why, rituals and routines are really important for us. Now let's look at the difference between rituals and routines. So when you think of a ritual, it's more like being intentional and being mindful and doing things that you're aware of. Whereas a routine is tasks that we do automatically, like brushing your teeth. even routine like driving. So how often have you driven somewhere different and then all of a sudden you're asking yourself, wait a minute, why am I still like driving to work? Because that's not where I'm going today. Today I'm going somewhere else. Or how many times have you, go downstairs now. Or how many times have you driven to work and then not even really realize that you were driving, and then all of a sudden you're at work or you're at wherever it is that you go every day. I do that quite frequently. I just automatically drive, and there's been quite a few times where I started driving somewhere and realized that that's not where I was going that day. And so routines are things that we just do automatically. And sometimes the things that are automatic weren't always automatic. It just became such a routine that it became automatic for us. And so rituals and routines are different, whereas routines are just something that we do, and rituals are something that we're more intentional with and that we are more mindful of. Delrico, go downstairs now. No. Are more intentional. So, and rituals are things that we practice and that we do. So even 3 minutes can become a ritual if you bring presence to it. Again, this goes back to like even in therapy, we do a lot of mindfulness exercises in the beginning of session, because a lot of times when people come in, you know, they're dealing with a lot of things, they have a lot of things on their mind, and they're thinking about a million and one things that are not, you know, present in the session for that day. So we'll do things to kind of ground them. We do intentional breath work. We do intentional just presence work. We do a lot of things just to bring them to the present, so that way they can be intentional with the therapy session. Go downstairs. Go downstairs, Delrico. Okay, go upstairs and lay down.
How did you see me?
I can see you. So, you know, one thing that we do is think of, so here's an example. How many times do you check your emails and you drink coffee? And you just going through the motions. Now, what if instead of just drinking your coffee, going through emails, you take 60 seconds to take a breath before the coffee? So before you sit down, before the coffee cup reaches your lips, even before you touch your computer to check emails, sit and breathe and bring yourself into the present. So that way, as you're checking emails, you're more cognizant and more aware of, okay, what email is important? What do I need to respond to? What can wait? You know, ordering things of importance and just bringing yourself into the moment. Because if you have been busy and you sit down, or you just woke up and you're sleepy and you're like, oh gosh, let me go through my emails, then, you know, you're not as aware of the emails that you're going through or the things that you need to be looking out for. Now let's look at micro habits. And I used to be guilty of this, where I used to feel like I needed time to be able to create a habit. So like, oh, I need an hour to stretch. I need an hour to work out. That's what I used to think. I need an hour to do anything. And now a lot of things, if you look at research, a lot of things are now saying that a lot of time doing something is not as productive as some people used to think. Like working out for 1 to 2 hours isn't as productive as doing like a intentional 30-minute workout. Whereas if you're doing an hour of a workout, just willy-nilly winging it, you're not going to get as much accomplished as if you did a 30-minute intentional workout program that you had already pre-thought of before you went to the gym, as opposed to just going to the gym and doing whatever you saw or whatever you felt at the moment. And so, you know, research, like I said, has shown that even dedicating 5 or 10 minutes can help us reduce stress and improve focus. Because how many times, you know, breathe in for 10 seconds, you know, we say breathe in for 4, out for 2, in for 4, out for 2. Like we do stuff like that. Small seconds make huge differences. And so if you do these small steps daily and you do it repetitively, you're going to see big changes. But if you are not consistent and you're not doing the things that are needed every day, then you're not going to see change. You're going to be inconsistent. And then that's when, because you're not being consistent, so then you're not seeing the results. And then all of a sudden, it's not working, as opposed to you're just not being consistent to be able to see the difference. And so we have to make it intentional, not just to do these 5 to 10 minute exercises, but we have to be intentional with them. We can't just do things sporadically and expect to see difference. That's just not how it works. And so like rituals and routines come from repetitiveness, come from consistency. And so let's look at how this can affect you. So what are some morning rituals that you can start your day with? Here are a few things that you can do that will help you with your rituals, help you with your consistency, help you with your habits, to help you see these changes over time with just these small changes. Every morning, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. Life can life can help us forget the things that we should be grateful for, because a lot of times we look at the glass half full or half empty as opposed to half full. And so when we look at it like that, all we can see are the things that are going wrong, the things that are bad, the things that we haven't accomplished yet, what we still need to accomplish, instead of looking at how far we have come from, when we first started. Like, I can't believe 3 years has passed since I started my master's program, and I'm done. Like, it seemed like so far away, but I was consistent and I stuck with it. I didn't take any time off. I went straight through the 3 years. Never really had a break. Our 2-week breaks were really like a week, because in grad school, I don't know if all grad schools are like this, but we had assignments and stuff due prior to class even starting. And so really it came down to 1 week off. But yeah, I went by fast. And now I'm grateful, and I realize, how many things that, I really did get to experience. Go downstairs. That I did get to experience in that 3 years, the people that I met, the professors that I met, the connections that I made. And so, making time to remember what you're grateful for is a really good ritual to have. Stretches and deep breaths. I am very guilty of this, and I really do need to start doing this. Stretching, when our bodies are tense and we keep this tension in our body, then naturally we're going to be on heightened alert. We're not going to be as calm. We're not going to be as relaxed as we could be, because we're not stretching. I'm extremely guilty of this. Since the last 3 years, I've been extremely sedentary. I am not a stretcher, and I'm very not flexible at the moment. So this has caused me to have to go to physical therapy to be able to learn what stretches I need to do that will help certain areas of my body. Read or listen to something uplifting. Nowadays, I don't know about my generation, but the next generation, the generation after me, a lot of the music, even our generation, a lot of the music was not very positive, and we'd be blasting it, but listening to some motivational podcasts or listening to books, audibles. I'm not a big audible person, but there are people that are. Listening to a mindset book, listening to a self-improvement book, listening to anything that's going to pour positivity into your mind and help you see what is possible for you. Reading, I used to love reading. I haven't been able to read in quite a while, but I do plan to pick that up. But I used to love reading, just books in general, but I think now I'm at a point in my life where I want the book to be able to add something of substance and something of value to me. And so I want to work on mindset. I want to work on money. I want to work on mental health, since that's the field I'm in. So those are the things that I want to focus on, because as a person and as a therapist, I need to make sure I'm at my best. And the only way to do that is if I pour into myself by my reading and or my listening. And so, our mornings should nourish us and not drain us. Especially Mondays, people wake up, they're like, ugh, it's Monday. So when you think, so today is Tuesday. So Wednesday morning, what is something that you're going to do starting tomorrow to create a ritual for yourself that will help start your day on a positive note and give you energy and nourish you and not drain you? What are some things that a ritual that you want to do? Reading, listening to something positive, stretching, deep breathing, gratitude journal, something that can start your day off the way you want it to start off. Because I promise you, when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, the rest of the day goes to crap. And so if you wake up on a good mood, then things just tend to not bother you as much. Hi, Sierra. Tend not to bother you as much. And so let's learn to start our days off great. You know, life already be lifing. You're going to hear me say that a lot because it does. Life be lifing. So let's be intentional and create rituals that's going to help our days be better. Does that mean our days are always going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Because life is life and we can't control every aspect of our life. But let's control what we can control, which is let's start our mornings off right. And a lot of people are not about this, but breakfast makes a huge difference. And it doesn't even have to be a big breakfast. Have a couple eggs, have a yogurt, have a banana, have something, because whether you realize it or not, you've been fasting all night. And it doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're not someone who's used to it and then you don't eat until noon, sometimes that be making people hangry. I've fasted for 3 days before, which is not a lot. I've seen some people be fasting for like days and days and days. And I'm like, ooh, more power to you. But 3 days has like been my max. But it's, yes, girl, life be lifing. But ever since I stopped going to, since I graduated, I just feel more calm and more at ease because I've been much more intentional with things that I do. Spending time with my kids, I miss out on that and it makes a huge difference when we start to be intentional with the steps that we make in our life. It's crazy how it's such an easy thing. Yes, girl, breakfast. I wasn't always a breakfast person, but I don't eat anything heavy because I'm just not hungry in the morning. Or at least I think I'm not. But a banana, a yogurt with some granola, it's just something simple. But not, nothing heavy. But ever since I've been intentional with things that I do right now, I've just been a happier person and realizing what's important in life. And that's my family, that's helping other people, that's doing things that matter and that are not just because. My life is always about, just because. No, I want to do things that are intentional and have a purpose and a reason. And I finally found that. And so when we start to be intentional and create rituals, it makes a huge difference. Not just other people notice it. I can't even tell you how many people have said, you seem really happy. And I'm like, because I am. Because I am. Is life perfect? Absolutely not. And it's never going to be. And I understand that. Will I always be in this happy, chipper mood? Of course not. I'm a human. We're all human. Our days are not always going to be great. But why not try our best to make them as great as they possibly can? And so that's sort of what I wanted to really put out there, is really creating that intentionality for you guys, really helping all of us get back to, okay, you know what? Let's not let life dictate our steps. Let us dictate our steps, and then life can follow. Because it's not always, it's not always like that. But what you can control, let's control that. Let's control our morning rituals. Let's control our routines. Let's control what we pour into our minds. That's one reason I do not watch the news. That's one reason we don't have cable. Because for me, news is just about negativity for the most part. It's just about pouring negative stuff out there. And I know life is negative, but why do I want to add that to my life intentionally watching that? I choose not to. So let's, be purposeful. Let's do things that impact other people, that impact our families, that impact us in a positive way. Let's start to be intentional with our steps, y'all. Let's start to associate with people who think the same way. Because I'm telling you, you are who you surround yourself with. And I do not surround myself with a lot of people. And, you're going to come across people who claim to be the same, but you find out they are not. But guess what? That's just God putting people in our path to put us closer, to let us know who we don't need to associate with, to let us know where we went wrong, and to let us know where we need to tighten up. And then also it's going to bring us closer to where we're supposed to be and who we're supposed to help. And the faster we realize that, the faster we just accept things and take those steps, that's going to get us closer. And so let's create those intentional steps. Let's create calm in this storm we call life. and let's protect what we can protect, and let's just move in the right direction. That's all we can do. But intentionality and surrounding yourself with people who can help you along the way is what's going to be the game changer. Because I'm telling you, there's certain people in my life that are huge factors and help me every day remind myself of, what it is I'm striving for. And so make sure, if you're not already following me, that you follow me, because I will be, going live very frequently. And if you want some more resources on rituals or other ways to reduce stress, stay more grounded, definitely comment what it is you're looking for, because, I do have access to, I do know where to look for a lot of, especially mindfulness stuff, things that can help us really stay calm and create that atmosphere that we're looking for to start our day. But hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. My boys are running around here playing soldier. But I am planning to be on here tomorrow, and I hope to see y'all then.